What is going on, everybody? My name is Michael Kelly. If you don't know that already, I am here with
Devin Zander. I guess it is awkward when you just let people. I did that the other day where I was waiting for Rob to say his name and he just stared at me. So I guess sometimes it's hard to know that you're supposed to say your name. Anyways, what's up, dude?
No, nothing, man. I'm super excited to have you on here. We've been friends for over a year now, I think it is.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a lot longer than that, but I guess it's been a year.
Yeah.
Feels like it's been like 5 years or some shit. I don't know.
Hey, Kristen, how are you doing today?
What up?
So really, I wanted to have you on here just because of everything that you've been able to do with Scup and now Roseanne. Like, you've just been a big mentor to me, and just watching how everything grows, and just you just being able to build your business the way you have is really inspiring, I guess you could say, because I don't know if you want to give them a little bit of your backstory.
Yeah, so totally. My name's Devin Zander, guys. Hi, I'm an info marketer and as well as just marketer overall. Sell software, apps, themes, as well as training. I have 2 companies, Scup.net and Roseanne. Scup is my info marketing business where we originally started as a Shopify app and theme company back in 2015. And then a couple years into it, we were like, maybe if we start selling info products, we can increase our customer lifetime value on our apps. And then we realized, like, holy shit, we're actually making a lot of money with the fucking courses and stuff. So we started doing that. For the first year, we probably did, $600,000 in sales on our courses and stuff like that. And then fast forward, the next year, we did $10 million. So it was absolutely insane. Really, it was kind of like the right place at the right time on that, because it's not like we had some insane dialed in back end or anything. Really, you came on my podcast yesterday and we were discussing it. That one was kind of like almost luck, right? And then we continued that for 2 years. We made a little over $22 million in sales on that one $2,000 product. Since then, I focused more on getting the back end working on our business, and we're still running those front end acquisition funnels. But we're focusing more on ascending people into our back end, which has increased our profit margin quite a bit. So even though our gross revenue isn't as high, we're actually making a little bit more, not like a lot more, but a little.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Michael Kelly. If you don't know that already, I am here with
Devin Zander. I guess it is awkward when you just let people. I did that the other day where I was waiting for Rob to say his name and he just stared at me. So I guess sometimes it's hard to know that you're supposed to say your name. Anyways, what's up, dude?
No, nothing, man. I'm super excited to have you on here. We've been friends for over a year now, I think it is.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a lot longer than that, but I guess it's been a year.
Yeah.
Feels like it's been like 5 years or some shit. I don't know.
Hey, Kristen, how are you doing today?
What up?
So really, I wanted to have you on here just because of everything that you've been able to do with Scup and now Roseanne.
Yeah.
Like, you've just been a big mentor to me, and just watching how everything grows, and just you just being able to build your business the way you have is really inspiring, I guess you could say, because I don't know if you want to give them a little bit of your backstory.
Yeah, so totally. My name's Devin Zander, guys. Hi, I'm an info marketer and as well as just marketer overall. Sell software, apps, themes, as well as training. I have 2 companies, Scup.net and Roseanne. Scup is my info marketing business where we originally started as a Shopify app and theme company back in 2015. And then a couple years into it, we were like, maybe if we start selling info products, we can increase our customer lifetime value on our apps. And then we realized, like, holy shit, we're actually making a lot of money with the fucking courses and stuff. So we started doing that. For the first year, we probably did, $600,000 in sales on our courses and stuff like that. And then fast forward, the next year, we did $10 million. So it was absolutely insane. Really, it was kind of like the right place at the right time on that, because it's not like we had some insane dialed in back end or anything. Really, you came on my podcast yesterday and we were discussing it. That one was kind of like almost luck, right? And then we continued that for 2 years. We made a little over $22 million in sales on that one $2,000 product. Since then, I focused more on getting the back end working on our business, and we're still running those front end acquisition funnels. But we're focusing more on ascending people into our back end, which has increased our profit margin quite a bit. So even though our gross revenue isn't as high, we're actually making a little bit more, not like a lot more, but a little more profit per year at this point. And by the end of this year's actually been really, really good for us. Our revenue's up like 140% over last year. So it's going to be way up this year, that profit percentage. So that's really exciting. It's mostly all through Evergreen webinars. So if Evergreen webinars are something that interests you, hopefully I can be of assistance to you today, as well as building a sales team, which I'm not amazing at, but it's something that I've been working on quite a bit the past year with my partners. And then my other company, Roseanne, we are an SMS marketing software. So I truly believe that with how saturated the online space is getting, ClickFunnels has lowered like the barrier to entry significantly. So everybody, their fucking dumbass dogs can do it. Like, I swear to God, you could have the stupidest fucking dog, like doesn't even know how to go to the bathroom, and he could whip up a ClickFunnels funnel and start trying to make money. So with all that, it's like really hard to get your messages through. Emails are being ignored. Even like direct mail that you send people, it's like doesn't work anymore. And the best way to communicate in 2022 is with text messages. It's got like 98% open rate, 20% click-through rate. So it's massive. I saw a big need in my own business for that. So we built the software. And then after using it internally for about a year and a half, we got the opportunity to have Clayton join the business, as you know. And with that, we were like, well, Clayton decided to join. Let's take this out into the world and start selling it. It's been going pretty well. We got some big clients, a lot of clients referred by you too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So gracious. But yeah, that's like a quick backstory on my life.
Yeah, so before we get into like how you've actually been able to build your coaching business without spending all your time on social media, like all of these coaches are taught.
Fuck social media, I don't do that shit.
I wanted to talk about like the case study that you guys built up where you sent out that email to your list and you just noticed that you weren't getting very many book calls. And then didn't you take that email, put it on a landing page, send a text out? And
So there's not a whole lot to say because you just kind of said everything. Yeah, I mean, that's just an example of an SMS experiment we did, right? Which was, we do have a sales team, and we try to ensure that the calendars are always full from ads. Essentially, we're doing like 20 to like 30, maybe sometimes 15, it varies, front-end sales per week, and that's our $9.97 offer. And our goal is to close 25% of every single person who purchases that front-end offer into our 6K offer as well. So that means if we get 20 sales, we expect to make in a week, we expect to make at least $6,000 sales off those. So that's kind of the goal right there. And sometimes our calendar is not completely full from ads alone. So we rely on emails to our qualified leads. We don't have like a setter or anything. We've tried working with setters, but not had any success with that as of yet. So unfortunate, but so we're sending emails to fill our calendar, and I was like, one of our copywriters wrote this really good email, and it only got us like 3 booked calls. So I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. This is a really good email, and from my experience, I've been in this industry or this niche for a long time now, like 7 or 8 years. So I know what messages really resonate with the audience, and I know that this one really hit it on the head, and it should have filled our calendar. We had like 30 open books call slots, so there was a lot. And when an email only fills 3 of them, you're like, oh, fuck, my closers are going to get pissed off at me. So I tried a little experiment where it was super simple. I was just like, maybe people just aren't seeing it. So I copied and pasted the email onto a ClickFunnels page. I didn't do anything crazy. I literally just copied the email. I logged into Gmail. I fucking copied that shit and I pasted it. There was an image in the email, so I put that on the page too in the correct spot. And then below the email, I put our calendar. Embedded the calendar so they could book a call right there on that page. And then I changed the call to action at the bottom of the embedded email, which was just saying, click the link below. It just says, go below, fill out the form, and book your spot. So when we emailed our list and only got 3 book calls, that went out to like 40-something thousand people. And we got, like I said, 3 book calls. Then I wrote a text message. I was like, okay, we'll try this. I'm going to send a text message to that same email, but that is now copied and pasted on that page. Took that, I wrote a quick text. It just said like, hey, first name, one of our students just broke $600,000 in revenue. See how you can do the same. And then it sent him to that page, right?
Yep.
With that, we had probably about 27 remaining spots left to book a call. And we sent that text to 8,000 people. So a lot fucking less people,
Yep.
That's less than 1/4. And within like 30 minutes, all 27 spots were booked. And I was trying to figure out kind of why. And here's really what I came to understand, which was that it's not that email is bad. Anyone who says email is dead is ridiculously, they're being obnoxious. Like, email is not going anywhere. But people aren't necessarily going to see email. So the message was really good and it really resonated, but people couldn't see it. Yep. And then when you get someone to go to that page via text message, their attention that they pay to the message itself is going to be different. Because when you read an email, it's like you're kind of digesting it, but you saw a bunch of other subject lines and you're kind of thinking about those emails too. Like, man, I'm interested in what's in that other email or whatever, right? But when you get someone to read something via text message, especially like this email, what they're doing is they're reading it and they're saying, oh, someone made 600K. Like, ooh, interesting. I want to learn more about that. And then they click the link to read the email. And now what's going to happen is they're actually going to digest that entire message because they made that like micro commitment of attention. Yeah. Instead of just reading a headline and then being distracted by a bunch of things, and they're like, maybe it'll be interesting. They say, oh, there's this one thing that I see. It sounds interesting. I'm going to click this link and check it out. And not only do they actually see the message, but they're digesting it better. And then they book a call. Boom, it's all good. You go into the bathroom this time. We got someone walking behind Michael at the office here yesterday when we were recording a podcast. He was too scared to leave in the middle of it. Not scared, consider it. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just, I feel like the power of really what comes down to SMS. Because I know, like, we do a lot of email and SMS for our clients. And even with, like, abandoned carts and all of that, I feel like those bring in the majority of the recovered people that did abandon the cart because they get to see them. And they're not just bombarded with, like you said, 80 different headlines on that one page that can just take away all of like their attention.
Yeah, we're really in attention's a good word too, because we are in an attention economy right now. Like, where during COVID, people's attention spans were fucked. Like, it was already bad, right? It was already bad. But now when people are sitting at home in COVID land every day and they can't leave their house. So like before, people had jobs. So they still had attention span somewhat because they'd go to the job and they'd do their job or whatever. And they would used to living a normal life. But when they were at home, they're checking TikTok every few seconds. They're checking Pornhub every few seconds. They're checking Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. And that happened for a year straight. So people's attention spans are just fucked. So now, before we can ever make a monetary transaction, you first need to make an attention transaction, get the attention of the marketplace or of your prospect. And then with that, then you can sell them. But yeah, so really attention comes before everything now. And I feel like it was kind of always that way, right? But now it's more important because before you could just have an ad and if it like sounded a little interesting, or you could have an email or it sounded like a little interesting, people would buy. But now there's so much competition. It's not just people in your niche. It's everybody who has a similar offer to you, right? So like I'm in the e-com niche and someone who teaches you how to make money copywriting. Like if you would ask me 5 years ago, I'd be like, no, they teach copywriting. They're not my competitor. But now, dude, everybody in the entire industry, not just your niche, but let's say it's a biz op or make money industry, they're all your competitors. But now it's even worse than that because you also have fucking TikTok, HBO, all these things are competitors. And you also have the rising cost of gas and the rising cost of living and inflation as a competitor. So it's like, you really need to be able to get attention, get in front of people, and hold attention, which is like a whole nother argument because it's not just about text messaging and stuff. It's also just being a more engaging marketer, having more engaging content. And that comes down to like literally having better YouTube editing or being something that I think is really powerful is being really upfront with your values and your beliefs and things like that so people can align with what you're saying and actually follow you because that's what you need. You can't just have like people who are interested in how to make money. You need literal followers who agree with you as a person. That is how you can guarantee that they continue to follow you and be interested in your content in the attention economy. So,
no, I love that. A few points that you kind of made is like your competitors aren't just the people that are selling against you. Now your competitors are anybody that's trying to take the attention away from your target audience.
Exactly.
And then the other point, which I just completely fucking forgot.
Oh my gosh. I talk a lot.
No, it's all good. I don't even know what it was, but
all good.
It's all good. It happens, man. But I think like I kind of want to take a step back because, like you said, like what took your business to that next level was like the evergreen webinars.
Yeah.
But how many webinars did you have to do before you actually like figured out like, okay, I can actually make this one evergreen?
Yeah, I mean, dude, before that, it was a lot. It was probably like in the 20s of different webinars, and it was really a friend and an old business partner. So some of the viewers may know him, Alex Becker. So he was my business partner in 2016, 17, like 18 and 19. And I had webinars that were working and that him and I were just promoting via emails a lot and via his and my YouTube channel and stuff like that. But he just kind of brought up the idea of like, hey, we should just run this as an ad, you know? And lo and behold, we did, and that just took off. Like more recent, the one we're running right now, it took a lot more iterations and practice to do because we're in a more, sophisticated market where the marketplace is more aware of solutions. And also it's a bit more complex to stand out in a sophisticated market. So it was really easy then. Just kind of having a good offer and being better at copywriting and sales and being more charismatic really just allowed us to have a huge advantage. But like in today's day and age, it is a little bit more work, but I still think it's one of the best ways to acquire front-end customers because a lot of people think that they're dead. And
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah, because of that, it's like the whole market for webinars is a little unsaturated right now. So it's not going to be as easy because attention spans are low and you're requiring people to sit through a 1 to like 1.5 to 2 to 2.5 hour thing. But if you are engaging and your content's good, it's like a gold mine, right?
Yep.
We're getting like anywhere from 100 to 150 ROAS, like 1%, not like 150 ROAS, 100 to 150%. So 1.5 ROAS. Same day, like on our webinars, we're spending not an astronomical amount, but a few $1,000s a day. And then, like I said, we're converting 25% of those customers into our backend, and we're working to get that up too. I'm really focused on building a good sales organization. Got one of my books here, just came in, learning how to build a better sales org. And on that note, there's a book From Impossible to Inevitable, which is really about software, but I think that it's a must read for people who want to build a sales focused and product led organization, which is fucking sick. But
Love
yeah, I think something that could be interesting is if maybe we talk about why the webinars itself work. Like, what does it take? I got some notes that I have here. Let me pull them up because there's 8 like components to what will allow an evergreen webinar to succeed. And it's not really about the webinar itself. It's the same principles that really help any offer succeed. But there's, to me, 8 core components to a winning offer. And having a winning offer is what will allow something to convert on cold traffic specifically. Like you don't need these if you're going to a warm audience. And that's when people try to do evergreen webinars, this is like the biggest mistake they make. And we're working with a few clients right now over at Roseanne, trying to help them with their evergreen webinars. And they have something that works on warm traffic, and they expect that to just work on cold. And it's like,
I get that all the time with like the clients that we work with is they are doing anywhere from $40,000-$50,000 a month with their warm audience and shit like that. But then when we try to build out the entire funnel, they want us to kind of speak the exact way that they're speaking to their warm audience. And it really doesn't work the way that you would want it to because there's that relationship isn't built up.
Well, and it's not even just that. It's just that they're not considering, again, we go back to the sophistication level of the market. So when you work with people that are on your email list or you're a fan of yours, not only is there a relationship and more trust, right? But they also understand more of what it is that you're doing, right? So if I were to talk to someone on my email list about e-commerce, right? They already know all my jargon. They know my acronyms. They know exactly what I'm talking about. They know how the business model works. They know the fulfillment suppliers we use. You know, they know like everything under the sun. But when you're talking to a cold market, not only do they not know these things, and they might not even know that your solution exists at all, right? So if I'm running a warm webinar, I just jump straight into it. I don't explain the business model, the backstory, like any of that shit, because it's just not needed. They already know what that is. And if I tried explaining that, they'd be like, I already know this. This is a waste of time. But with that cold audience, right, You need to overcome those hurdles, introduce them to the business model itself in a very simple way, and then convince them that it is the right thing for them to do. Because like we said, there's so much competition out there.
Yep.
And they're considering, whether you believe it or not, you think that your competition's only in your niche, but they're considering all kinds of things. They're considering being like a social media manager, a copywriter, other owner, dick sucker on, OnlyFans, whatever, right? So there's a lot to overcome. And then, but yeah, we can get into the 8 things.
Love it.
So the first thing that any offer really needs to have is a clearly defined outcome. I was consulting with these 2 guys the other day, me and Clayton were, and we were like, well, they wanted to sell, I think I can't remember if it was like $8,000 or $10,000 program. And they were talking about everything that will be included. And we're like, okay, that sounds good, but what's the point? Like, what happens when people go through this? What is the end result? What do they know that they're going to get if they take this, right? And that's actually an issue that I have with my $6,000 offer right now, is that we've been having a harder time defining that. And because it's like hands-on coaching. It's like, you work with us, but what's the outcome with that? Like, there's no clear, tangible outcome. The outcome is, oh, you get to work directly with us and we'll help you with it. But it's hard to come up with a clear, defined outcome.
Yep.
And it was the same thing with those guys. They were like, well, we don't really know. We just going to give them this info and then they can do with it what they will, right? So this first step, the first thing you need is just a clearly defined, if you join our webinar or if you buy our offer, you will learn how to do X. That could be like lose 20 pounds in the next 30 days. It could be build a $10,000 a month business within the next 90 days, right? The way I do it is how to do X with in Y amount of time without Z. So how to lose 20 pounds in the next 20 days without giving up carbs or some shit like that, right?
Yep.
But it's a clearly defined outcome. It's not like vague, like you'll lose weight, right? Like you'll lose weight in the next 20 days. It's not clearly defined.
Yep.
Clearly defined means that they know exactly how much weight they're going to lose in how much amount of time. And, you got to be careful with that stuff like that too, because you could be crossing like some FTC type guidelines where you're making weird promises and stuff. So you have to find a way to toe the line. But that's like step number 1. Okay.
I love that you put like have the defined outcome as well as the time limit, because I feel like a lot of people don't think about that time limit. One of the best headlines that we wrote for one of our clients' events was unlock a simple yet powerful framework over 1,917 of my clients use to package, present, and profit from their expertise in less than 90 days.
Yeah.
We don't really say like, hey, you're going to make $15,000 in the next 90 days, but we tell them, hey, as long as you follow this system of the package, present, and profit, you will start profiting from your expertise in 90 days.
Exactly.
And this page converted at like 10%.
And on that note about like the FTC stuff too, it's like one of the things that we do is like we have a disclaimer, which is like, look, I can't guarantee you'll make this money, like exactly like you said, but I can guarantee that I will show you exactly what we did to achieve it, right?
Yep.
And it's like you need to have the time frame, because if you don't have the time frame, it's like, people are just like, well, is it going to be 5 years, 10 years? I mean, like, I don't understand, like how to make $1 million. And then they get in and it's just like, open just invest in the S&P index fund, $200 a month. And then eventually before you die, you'll have $1 million, right?
So I was just thinking too, like,
what is the clearly defined? Clear means they know exactly what it is and how long it's going to take to get there. Okay. And we have a simple equation here in my notes. It's objective quantitative goal plus time frame for completion of goal. And then of course, if you want to be a little more copywriting savvy with it, you can do the without something they hate, which is, whatever that is. Like for us, we use like without tech skills and shit like that. Like I feel like that's the most common, obvious one.
Yeah, that. And I feel like in the coaching niche,
or even like you said when we started this call, without being on social media all the time, right?
I think that's one of the biggest things when it does come to coaches is they think that they have to be DMing 20 people a day.
I've never fucking DM'd anyone.
They have to create 18 pieces of content a week so that way every day they can post every 4 hours and like all this crazy shit that I even got stuck in. And what's even crazier is when I was doing all that shit, my business was fucking losing money every single year. Then once I took a step back and I just started being myself, which is another thing that you talked about is
genuine and
yeah,
real values and real beliefs.
Yep, which now I remember the point that I was going to make earlier is you want to not only attract the people that are your tribe, but you want to repel the people that don't fucking fit in.
Exactly.
You can look at Donald Trump as a perfect fucking person for this. Is he attracts literally all the people that are just America, and then he repels everybody that's like
China,
socialists and shit.
Yeah,
but yeah,
exactly.
I think that's a good point.
I had something cool to add too, and I can't remember. But yeah, if I remember, we'll go back to it. But that's like the basis. Oh, I remember now. I was gonna say like, and you got to remember, and this is just a side note. I know we're a little off topic right now, but when it comes to like DMing people and stuff like that, it's just a really low leverage task. It's impossible to make a lot of money off that because it's just like you can only DM so many people and it's so manual. Like leverage means that you pull a lever and it moves big shit, right? But if you're just DMing people, it's not really going to do that. Now, I do believe that it is fine to do that when you're a startup. Like if you don't have a lot of money to invest and you're just getting started and you need cash flow so you can pay for ads or pay for trying to scale your business or hire employees, yeah, like DM the fuck out of people, you know, DM people till you get fucking blocked. Not by the person. Hopefully you're not knowing them, but I think, you know, Facebook will block you eventually and say, you DM'd too many people. But yeah, so really looking at leverage points. And then, you know, again, like we discussed on the podcast yesterday, don't be scared to outsource these things. The biggest thing entrepreneurs are going to be like, but the quality's going to go down. Yeah, it's going to go down, but you'll get more DMs out, which means more volume, which means more sales overall. Yep. Even though the quality went up a little bit, volume went way up. So, you know, you make more money and then you can move on to the higher leverage tasks. So, okay, back on topic, webinars. So we just went over the number one thing, which is having that clearly defined outcome. And now you need to come up with like a big idea. And this is one of the clearly defined outcome. To me, that's just like common. Like everything you do should have a clearly defined outcome. But when we start getting into big ideas, and then the next point, which I believe will be unique mechanisms. Yeah. So big ideas are really key when you're working on cold traffic. And I've seen a lot of, I'm in a mastermind that you're also in too, like the Fast Forward Mastermind, the NHB Mastermind. And Alan, his leader, he's actually against big ideas, and I'm totally not on board with that. I think, and what he says and what some people say, I think he got it from Naval Ravikant, who also is loved by Alex Hormozi. But literally, the guys in this book, and from Impossible to Inevitable, the guys who like did the sales for Salesforce and made literal billions of dollars for their companies, say that the whole idea of build it, and if your product's good, people will come. You don't need a big idea because if you build a good product, people will buy it. It's like, if they think it's bullshit, I agree, it's bullshit. And look, here's the next part is why not do both? You know, why not have a big idea and build a great product? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, but the big idea, this is kind of hard for people to wrap their head around, but it's like, why this method? Why right now? Why you? So you have to ask yourself, like, what is happening right now in the world or like online or whatever it is that makes this the best thing for someone to do right now? So to give an example of a big idea, one that we used at SCUP to sell our current print-on-demand jewelry course is we started selling it in 2021. And around that time, what was it called? If people were trying to drop ship from China still at that point, it was like really difficult because packages from China were taking
forever.
They were already they've always taken a long time, like months. But now we're dealing with all those ships stuck at port, right?
Yep.
So these products are taking like 8, 9, 10, 12 months to get delivered. People's merchants' accounts will get shut down because of all the chargebacks and shit like that. So drop shipping wasn't feasible. So our big idea was that, hey, it's impossible to drop ship from China right now. You just can't do it because all the ships are stuck at port. Plus, nobody trusts products from China because they're scared of COVID, blah, 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 and all this, right? So you need to start selling US-based suppliers that are still drop shippable. And that's the big idea. What's going on right now that makes this the most important thing to do right now? You can't drop ship from China. You need high-quality US-based products. Boom. All right? Simple as that. Another big idea that we have at SCUP for a course we're working on is for one of our scaling courses. So we took our store to $20 million from $3 million a year to $20 million a year. And that was over the course of about 16 months. So it was really rapid scale. And then we exited that business and sold it. So we wanted to make a course about scaling and selling your business as well. And the big idea behind that was like, the internet is changing at lightning speed right now. Like, yeah, you've got a store that's doing well right now, but what's the internet going to be like in 3, 4, 5 years? Will you even still be able to advertise? Will it still work? We'll show you how you can scale and exit your business now before all these huge changes on the internet come, and it's like your business isn't around anymore. Kind of like playing off the fear of, all right, it's working now, but is it going to always work? And so exit now while you have the chance, right? We'll show you how to do it in lightning speed. So those are like ideas of, that's an idea of a big idea.
Yeah.
Or a brief overview.
And I think the beautiful thing about that is like you can bring in that big idea, and that's how you can use that to craft your unique mechanism around the product, and then you can use it to craft the unique mechanism around the problem, which like the problem in that case was the China suppliers are taking fucking forever to get your shit back. So that would be more like a unique mechanism around the problem. I know one big idea we used for one of our clients was insurance-backed bonds. Yeah. That was for an annuity thing that we were writing. And the reason we used that is because we looked at, okay, what are all these financial advisors having their people like put their retirements into? And we noticed that it was almost always bonds.
Yeah.
So we figured out a way to kind of give that a unique name and create the unique mechanism out of it where they're putting their money into the annuity, which is essentially the insurance company buying the bonds on their behalf. So all their money is guaranteed and they can't lose money in the market and shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so effective. And like the whole point of a big idea really is because people want to, people need something urgency to make them act, right? So an idea, or the point of a big idea, is to kind of say, like I mentioned, here's why it's important to do it right now, okay? And without that push, people like kind of put things off or whatever. It's almost like just real scarcity in a sense, right?
Yep.
But the next point here, which you were just talking about too, is a unique mechanism that helps achieve the outcome. And again, just like the big idea, a unique mechanism is something you're going to want to use when you're on cold traffic, because you need a way to stand out, especially in marketplaces, right? Like if you're trying to sell a drop shipping or a print on demand offer, everybody already knows what that is. Yep. So you're going to get like essentially two responses. People who are like, no, I'm not interested in drop shipping. I already know what drop shipping is, not interested in it. Or, no, I already tried drop shipping. It didn't work for me. I'm not interested, because the marketplace is already sophisticated. They know what it is. So you need a way to stand out in crowded marketplaces, which is where your unique mechanism comes in. So for our course that we're running on cold traffic, it's a print-on-demand course. We teach people how to sell jewelry, print-on-demand jewelry, right? And if we just went out there and said, hey, come buy our print-on-demand course, it would be just like I told you, where people are like, nope, don't have any interest in print-on-demand. I know what print-on-demand is. I'm not interested, because it's been around since like 2012. I mean, it's been around longer than that, but it's been kind of like mainstream in the online marketing world since 2012. So people know about it. So instead of saying on our landing page, I'll just tell you what it says. Instead of saying, discover how this print-on-demand business made our student Tiffany $30,000 in 1 month and allowed her to quit her day job. That's what it could have said. But instead, we put discover the I Heart You system that our student Tiffany used to make $30,000 in a single month and quit her day job, right? So it's really, honestly, the I Heart You system, it's not really a good mechanism. But what it does is it veils the process, right? I don't say print-on-demand Shopify store. I say I Heart You e-commerce method. Yep. And now what that does is people are like, oh, I never heard of that. Sounds kind of interesting. I think I'll check it out. Like, it's curiosity driven. Exactly. And also, once people see it and they realize that they kind of like it, right? They're like, let's say they had tried print on demand before, having a unique mechanism overcomes the objection of, oh, I tried that before and it didn't work. Because here's the thought process people have. they say, well, it's no wonder it didn't work in the past. I didn't have the I Heart You system when I was trying print on demand. And a really good example of this is P90X, because P90X was having a very difficult time selling their program. As we all know now, P90X is massive. At least it was massive. I don't know if it's still doing well, but I'm pretty sure
it's still doing pretty well.
Yeah, I think it made literally billions with a B, okay, from a workout program, which is insane. But when they originally launched it, it was not working. They couldn't sell it. It's owned by Beachbody. Those guys have a lot of products that do well, but they couldn't sell P90X. So they hired a copywriter at the very end. They're like, okay, we'll give it one last chance. And the copywriter said, all right, well, I'm going to give the workout program a mechanism to how it works. I'm going to say the reason P90X works is because it uses muscle confusion to allow you to get ripped or whatever the fuck it is, right?
Yep.
So now it's muscle confusion. Oh, what's that? I never heard of that. Oh, I think I'll try out this program. And the reason most people don't do workout programs is because they think, oh, I tried working out before. It didn't work for me. I bought a workout program, or I bought workout pills or whatever it is before, and they didn't work. So they don't want to buy a new one because they're like, I tried one, it didn't work. Now they're like, oh, no wonder those other programs didn't work for me. They didn't do muscle confusion. And now it overcomes that entire objection, and they're willing to buy again, and their curiosity's piqued because it sounds cool, it sounds unique, and it's novel. Like having a novel item or a novel experience, something people haven't heard about before, that is literally the best way to sell something, is to create novelty. I read a book, The Stormlight Archives by, I can't remember his name, Brandon Sanderson, right now. Brandon Sanderson. I read his book, and this is what made me understand how important novelty is. It's like the most random thing. I'm just reading this fiction book about like fucking dragons. There's actually no dragons in it, but like magic and a bunch of cool stuff. And well, there's beasts that are kind of like dragons. They're like big flying crabs. And they don't breathe fire. But anyways, I never expected to have this huge breakthrough from reading a book, but there's this character named Wit, and he asks people like, what is the most impactful thing a man can do with his life? And some people were saying to be a knight, to make amazing music, to be a poet, to be a good husband, to be a king, and things like that. And Wit said, no, the real answer is to be novel. And then he painted an example. He's like, what if two men on opposite ends of the world, they've never met each other, they've never heard of each other, they don't know what either one are doing, nobody knows what either of them are working on, but they're both working unbeknownst to each other on a time travel device. Man number one creates the time travel device, and he releases it, and everybody thinks he's amazing. Like, wow, this guy is revolutionary. He's a genius. I can't believe he invented time travel. And then the other guy on the other side of the world releases his time travel device, which is exactly the same 7 days later. Now, neither of them knew they were working on it, okay? But they both came up with the same exact device randomly, and they finished about the same time, and they're basically exactly the same. Now, man number two is no less genius than the first guy, because he came up with all of this on his own, and he discovered it, and he did it. He should get all the fame and recognition, just like guy number one does, but he doesn't, because everyone thinks he's a copycat, because man number one did it first. He created that novel experience, and because of that, he gets all the fame, he gets all the recognition, he gets all the love, because he was novel. And that is just, I don't know. I thought that was so impactful and powerful. I was like, wow, this makes so much sense to me. And then it made me think about work and the idea of like mechanisms and making your offer appear new and exciting and novel and things people haven't heard about. And I realized like, wow, this is really the best way to sell something. And that's actually when we got our newest auto webinar to really take off, is when I started thinking about that and implementing those things into our marketing. So that was just something I didn't expect, but was a really great, I don't know, it was just an awesome breakthrough that I had from an unexpected place.
Yeah, and I think like the important part about that is like the market sophistication, because with everybody, with all these coaches coaching coaches, how to coach coaches
who coach
to
dogs.
Yeah, like all this shit going on, and the market just continuing to become more and more saturated. I think that like understanding what market sophistication level your people are at, so that way you can bring in something that's new, novel, and all of that is really what's going to set a lot of these coaching businesses and courses apart.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the most important thing, if you want to look, this isn't even included in this, in these notes, but the most important thing really is to just understand the market and understand your customer.
Yep.
And once you do that, it's like, it's so much easier. It's almost like you have superpowers. When you truly understand the market, like if you know the age and the beliefs and like what interests your market, dude, it's like you get hacks activated. So my market is a little bit older, and so they're in their 50s, 40s, 60s. They're conservative. So I create ads that have like conservative stuff in the background. I'm dressed nicely because that appeals to that type of audience. And I like insert little jokes about like Joe Biden and stuff into our ads. And dude, they love that. And I understand the market. So it just helps me stick out significantly. And then they instantly feel a bond and they feel like they can trust me. So, I mean, like understanding your market is just massive.
You ever read the book Play Bigger?
No, I haven't. It sounds cool though.
Really fucking good book. One of the pieces that I really took away from that was he who can explain the customer's problem the clearest is going to be the one that becomes the category king without ever presenting a solution. Because if you can, like you said, if you know your target audience and you can really speak to their pains and speak to everything that's going on in their life right now, they're just going to assume that you already have the solution to that problem.
Dude, it's just like, it makes it so much easier. It's crazy. And people underestimate that. I mean, I feel like it's common knowledge, but the more and more I talk to people, because I've never really talked a whole lot with other coaches and stuff before until we started, having them as clients at Roseanne. By the way, if anybody wants to send SMS, Roseanne, my SMS software, specializes in coaches, course creators, and influencers, stuff like that. So, yeah. But
I'll drop the link.
And now I realize people are actually fucking stupid. And it's okay, because Michael and here help you to not be stupid. And don't take offense to that. I'm stupid too, but I'm working on it every day. Every year, I look back at myself, like 1 year ago, and I was like, wow, I was fucking dumb back then. But that's how we know we're growing. You know what I'm saying? And the first step is to be humble enough to admit that we are stupid. But yeah, we can move on to the next point if it's cool.
Yeah.
So point number 4 is really simple, and it's just having like a rock solid guarantee or risk reversal. All offers on cold traffic are going to need this. These people have never heard of you before. You need to give them a way to get their money back. And honestly, you should be pretty liberal with refunds these days because the FTC went after a lot of people recently and sued them. I'm not going to name names. I don't even know all the names, but I'm familiar with some of them. And by having a rock solid risk reversal or refund guarantee, you actually you're going to have more refunds, but your sales go up so much more that it outweighs the amount of new refunds that would have been generated. So you should not be scared to do this at all. But we do something that's simple. It's a 60-day money-back guarantee. So like, look, if within 60 days you aren't happy with, where your business is at, you're not making sales, we'll give you an entire refund. Plus, we'll also refund you an extra $250 to cover the ad costs. So we do have requirements for our refunds, and one of them is you spend $250 on ads. We say like, look, this is our sales pitch. We say, look, we only want people in here who are going to try it. So to get a refund, we require you spend $250 in ads. And the reason why we require this is because we know if you actually try the product, you will see results. And we are not here to work with people who don't actually want to put in effort and try. So if you don't think you will spend that $250 on ads, don't even worry about buying. Don't even think about buying because this isn't for you. But if you are the kind of person who wants to build your own profitable e-commerce business, you want to change your life, you want to live life on your own terms with freedom, blah, 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 buy now. You got 60 days to try it out. And if you don't like it, you're not happy, and you spent $250 on ads, we'll refund your entire purchase plus that $250. There is zero chance you can lose here because you either buy and you have a super successful business, or B, it doesn't work out, you get all your money back, plus we cover your ad costs, and you get a lot new skills at the end of the day that you can use elsewhere. This is a win-win. The only way that you can lose is if you decide to join and not take action, and if that's you, just don't buy. And you hit them like that with your risk reversal, and it works really well. Don't be afraid to go above and beyond. Now, there are certain things, like on our $6,000 offer, since we're doing a lot of manual work and we're working one-on-one with people, like we don't provide refunds on things like that. And we have a contract, and we make sure people know ahead of time, like, you're not getting a refund. You have to read it, you have to sign it, blah, blah. But I say blah, blah, blah too much lately. It's like a bad habit.
What would you say your refund rate is for the lower ticket?
Oh, it's like 3%.
Yeah.
It's not very high.
No.
And we actually, like this is something that we don't necessarily tell our customers, but we have an internal rule where it's actually, if someone asks for a refund twice, we just automatically refund them. Even if they don't meet refund requirements, if they ask, so when someone asks for a refund, the first thing we do is we get on a call with them. Hey, you know, what's going on? Because usually it's just a mental block. Like typically people don't really want refunds. They just want to be paid attention to, and they want to be heard, and they want to be taken care of. So we have one of our support reps get on the phone with them. We talk through it. And if they just say, no, I want a refund, then automatically refunded no matter what. Just because, again, like I'm weary about the FTC, and also like I've reached a point in my life where if people don't want me to have their money and they don't want to work with me, I don't want to keep their money. Like I don't want to be that person, because imagine you're in that situation where you're working with someone and you're actually super unpleased with the services they provided. You know it's not for you. Like it's just doesn't mesh with you at all. Like you get kind of frustrated with that person if they don't give you your money back. And there's a part of like self-accountability too. Like, well, I did get into this on my own and I knew that I had to try it. It's not for me. Like, let's be honest, people should be taking more accountability for themselves.
Yeah.
And maybe it would even be a good thing for us to make people be accountable, because I mean, it's part of being an adult, right? But at the same time, it's like, fuck, I don't want to deal with FTC issues or anything like that. Like, or you're at a point when you're doing multiple millions of dollars per year where, you know, these agencies, they probably don't know about us because we're still not as big as some of the other people in the industry, but it's like, it's not worth the risk. So just have a really fucking good guarantee. And something fun that I haven't done yet, but I always think about, is something I heard Alex Hormozy say, which is like, you got to give your guarantee a fun and exciting name that people will remember and it'll really stick out to people. So the one he has is the, is that you?
Yeah, you trying to play
footsies
footsie?
under the table. He has the Club a Baby Seal guarantee. He's like, if you're not so happy with our product after 90 days of using it that you would not club a baby seal to keep access, or that you would club a baby seal to keep access, blah, 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 we'll give you a refund. Fuck, I got to stop saying blah, blah, blah. I hate myself. But yeah, essentially, I can't remember exactly what he says, but he's like, if you don't like it so much that you'd be willing to club a baby seal to keep it, after 90 days, we'll give you a full refund. So the Club a Baby Seal guarantee, it was pretty interesting, funny.
Well, I think like I see a lot of people, they don't want to offer the guarantee for low ticket, but sometimes they'll offer it for high ticket.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
And
what's low ticket? Like, what do you
like
define?
27 to like 397 would be low ticket, which I personally don't understand, because I feel like if you have a guarantee in there, like you said, you only get 3% refund rate. If you look at like lifetime value and all that stuff, you're going to make, first, your conversions are going to be a lot higher because you're taking a lot of that risk away from like what can actually happen if they do invest their money into it. But then if you look at like lifetime value and somebody goes through your program and they don't have a good experience, they ask for a refund, they don't get that refund, then next thing you know, they go tell like 4 people that they had a shitty experience, that your company fucking sucks. Then those 4 people go tell 2 people. And then I had a calculator type thing that kind of added this up, but one good experience is worth less than one person having a bad experience, because the amount of money you'll lose under that bad experience. So I just don't understand why people don't like offer a refund on those lower ticket things.
Yes, and you're right. And there's another point to that too, which is something I learned. I can't remember the author. It's a really good book. It's called How to Get Rich in the Opportunity Market.
Yep.
And it might even be How to Get Super Rich in the Opportunity Market.
I have that book.
Yeah, it's really good. I read it twice. And one of the points he said about refunds too was that just because they didn't like this one product doesn't mean they're not going to buy from you again. But if you refuse refunds and you create bad buying experiences, they definitely will not buy from you again. So sometimes you actually get a longer or higher customer lifetime value just by refunding, you know, because like I said, just because, so let's paint another picture. Let's say I have drop shipping offers, print on demand offers, and I have coaching offers, and I have software. Let's say they buy the drop shipping stuff and they're like, oh, this isn't a good fit. And I'm like, yeah, I guess it's not. And I refund them. And then because I refunded them, they take that money, they go invest it in the print on demand course instead. And then they actually do like that. So what do they do next? They go buy my print on demand software. They go buy my print on demand Shopify theme. And then they keep buying stuff. And now all of a sudden I've doubled my lifetime value by refunding that initial purchase. Yep. So you're totally right that number one, it's bad for word of mouth. And that's why most online education businesses can't grow, because they have bad word of mouth. Like if you're looking at selling to private equity or any of these firms that acquire companies, they want to see certain acquisition channels that are doing well. That's affiliate. And I don't mean like JVZoo launch affiliate. I mean, they want to see like websites ranking #1, reviewing your product and shit like that, or G2, you know, places where your affiliate link is driving sales reliably for years at a time, right? Number 2, they want to see word of mouth. And number 3, they want to see outbound. So outbound is you having, I mean, it could be inbound too, but you have a sales team that can go out there and get you sales. So those are 3 things, at least in my experience. I've had multiple friends who sell companies in the 8-figure range, 9-figure range, stuff like that. And I hear this over and over again. But really what they want to see at the very least is that you have multiple acquisition streams, and having word of mouth is probably the best one, because that means your product will grow itself. And word of mouth is a compound. It's like the only compounding stream, because that means when one person tells another person, now you have 2 people. When 2 people go out there, they tell 2 people each. Now you have 4 people, and then they all tell 2 people each. Now you have fucking 8 people or whatever. Or actually, I think it's like 16. I don't know. 4 times whatever. So eventually, you know, you get a lot of people. It's the only one that really compounds. So that's why these acquisition firms love word of mouth, because it compounds. It's massive. Like that grows infinitely, like fast. So
we have a couple questions in here. First question was, what's your first ticket product?
I don't understand. Do you understand?
So like when they watch the webinar, like what's your lowest ticket that you have for?
My front end is $997, and it is a print-on-demand course. We're actually getting rid of this. We're not going to have low-ticket front ends anymore. Hopefully, we hope to do that next month. Depends how quickly our marketing team can get all of our assets done. But we got the VSL written, and we're doing a nice little VSL funnel. I'm not going to turn off the funnel we got going right now because it's still working.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But eventually, we will have to turn it off, because we're only going to be selling that product, that front end product, for $6,000 now. So it would be unfair for some people to get it for $997 to $6,000. But we're gonna wait till the new funnel is really crushing it to turn the old one off. Yep. But to answer your question, it's a course, you know, your typical course, like a 10-week course, 120 videos. And it also comes with software, which I was gonna get to in one of the next points, which is we create software as bonuses to overcome objections, which, I mean, I suppose we can get into that, or we can answer the questions right now.
Yeah,
but
there's just one more about the book, How to Get Rich.
How to get rich in the opportunity market.
Is it primarily e-com or is it service-based businesses?
It's info product businesses, but it could work for literally service-based businesses too. I don't think it would be very good for, well, actually, you know what? I think that one of his original businesses was an e-commerce type business where he was selling physical goods, but he was doing it via direct mail.
Yep, I remember hearing that, yeah.
So really it could work for any. I consider it to be more of an info marketing, but I think that there's a lot in there that you could learn from any type of business, as long as it's direct response. I think it'll work really well for any direct response businesses.
Love it.
But yeah, I think that something that we could go into right now is the next point, which will kind of help answer some of the questions about what goes into my lower ticket offer. So we just covered, I guess let's reiterate real quick so far. We've covered clearly defined outcome, big idea, the unique mechanism that helps achieve the clearly defined outcome, and we covered the rock solid guarantee and or risk reversal. So point number 5 is bonuses that fight objections. So many times when people come up with their offer, they're thinking, when they think of bonuses, they're just like, what can I put in there that people will buy or whatever, or make it seem better? And they're not strategic about the way that they think about bonuses. So really, all bonuses should do is overcome objections. You need to sit down. If you don't have customers yet, you need to sit down and think about reasons why people wouldn't buy. There's multiple ways you can do that. You can go literally ask people. What I did before we launched this newest product was I got 30 customers of mine on the phone. They obviously bought other products from me. So I talked to them about the business model, and I was like, hey, what are your objections? Why would you not buy, right? Something like that. And I'll walk you through some objections and how we solved it. So we sell a print-on-demand course, teach people how to do print-on-demand e-commerce. biggest objection is I don't know how to make the designs for t-shirts, and I don't know how to hire a designer either, and aren't designers expensive? So creating the designs was like a big sticking point. People didn't want to buy because they didn't know how they were going to come up with ideas for designs and how they were going to create these designs or hire someone to create these designs. It seemed like too much work. So luckily, we're a software company, and we just went out there and we built our own tool. It's called dfyjewelry.com, and it will allow people to build the designs. What we did was we took a bunch of designs that were already proven to sell, and we put them in the software. I wish I could do a screen share. We don't have it set up right now. If I had my little, that's okay. We'll do another.
It's all good.
But it allows people to, let me see. I'll just share I wonder if I can pull it up right here and like turn my computer around.
You might be able to. But just to keep kind of going, I think another person that's really, really fucking good at this
we can put it on Michael's camera.
Is Russell Brunson, where if you get ClickFunnels, he'll give you his like lead funnels masterclass. He'll give you can get funnel scripts, like all of these things. We can kind of see it. It's like Canva, but
yeah, it's like Canva. You go in there
better.
And the designs are already done for you. All you have to do is edit the text, the fonts, the designs, everything's done. So you just come up with print on demand jewelry. So you're actually doing message cards, and that's the design. So all they have to do is come in and edit the text. We made it as simple as possible, and we cover like every niche. Like so, from mother to daughter, brother to wife, daughter, friend, mother-in-law, nurse, doctor, religious, dad, son, grandson, husband. Like we cover all the different sub niches within our thing. And now it's like you don't have to be a designer. You just open up the tool, and it's easy now. And then we back it up with math and like how many designs can you pump out an hour, blah, 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 with all this. But the biggest objection was they didn't know how to design. So we created a bonus that overcame it. Boom. All right. Now, one of the next things was I don't know how to do support or handle returns. So we just created an SOP book where it was like, if someone says this to you, here's exactly what you do. Boom. Done. There you go. Now you don't have to worry about support. I don't have time, or I don't know how to set up my store. Okay, cool. We'll set up your store for you. I don't know how to run Facebook ads. Okay, we created a software that tells you exactly how to do your Facebook ads. It reads your Facebook ad data and tells you if you should up the budget, lower the budget, turn the ad on, or turn it off, blah, whatever, right? God, I hate that I'm saying blah, blah. But the whole point is, and then we had people who said that, oh, I'm banned from Facebook ads, or I don't like doing Facebook ads. Okay, here's how you can do it with Google ads. Okay, here's how you can do it with TikTok ads. Objection overcame. Oh, I want free traffic. Okay, cool. Here's how to do email marketing. So we just really think that is how you need to handle bonuses. Shouldn't just be things that you think are cool. They need to overcome objections. And then once you do that and you do it well, bro, it becomes so easy to sell people. Because when people buy, they think through all the reasons in their head of why they shouldn't buy.
Why it's not going to work.
Yeah, and those are the objections. So when you can answer all those things in their head before they even have a chance to say it out loud, then they're going to rack their brain. They're going to be like, well, I would have said it's because I don't know how to do design, but well, they have that. I don't like Facebook ads, but well, they showed me how to do it on TikTok, and then they just buy.
Yep.
When there's no objections left and they can't think of a reason not to buy, you've won the logical and emotional argument, and then boom, they buy.
Love that. Yeah, because like I said, Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels, they're phenomenal with making sure that all of their bonuses handle all the objections that you might have with funnel scripts, lead pages, like not lead pages, but lead funnels, all the funnel templates, literally fucking everything that you need to have your dog, whether it's ugly or not, go up there and create your funnel for you. Like they put it all in there so that way they can handle the objections that you might have.
So the next point, my friend, is just having an excellent product itself. Your product needs to get people results. Now, this is actually like the least important part of an offer. People need to understand, like when you're bragging about having hundreds of videos in your course, that is not like a good selling point. People are like, oh, fuck, I have to go through hundreds of videos. Oh, how long is that going to take me? Oh, no. You need to have a good product, but the product is the least important part of the equation. As long as it can get people that clearly defined outcome, that's all that matters.
Yep.
Okay? It doesn't matter if your course is 5 videos, 25 videos, or 100 videos. All people care about is, can it help me get the clearly defined outcome, which is, if you guys remember, was the first point of all of this, was have a clearly defined outcome. So you need to have a good product that gets people results so you can get testimonials and stuff like that that will help you sell more in the future. But people don't give a fuck about what's in the product as long as it gets that clearly defined outcome. They care literally more about your bonuses, all right? So that's that one. Easy, right?
I mean, it's basic copywriting and basic offer creation. It's like, what's in it for me?
Yeah. And that's all. As long as people as long as it's getting people the result, they don't care. Like if you gave them a 5-minute book that if you gave them a book that take them 5 minutes to read and you charge them $9.97 for it, but it made them tens of thousands of dollars, no one's going to fucking complain. Yeah. So like, as long as your product get results, that's all that matters. Yeah. Next one is also easy, is having a justified price or actually charging less than your product is worth. So for instance, I'm fairly certain with all the development and all the work we put into our product, it's worth $5,000-$6,000, right? Easy. I mean, that's what we're going to sell it for. But now we're selling it for $9.97. You should have people, when they join, is what is the promises, or it's the saying is old as time: under promise, over deliver, right? Yeah. So when people get in, they should just be like, wow, I can't believe I got all of this for that price. And that makes people want to buy more from you, because they say, if I got all this, like you were saying yesterday, for $27, or if I got all this for $9.97, I can't imagine what I'll get when I paid them $6,000, and it just makes them more likely to buy your higher end stuff. So Again, really simple. And the last point, we've reached the end just on time, because we're like 58 minutes into this right now. Scarcity to drive action. And you can also pair this with the big idea. So you can say sometimes a big idea is like, there's a loophole in the tax system right now that will allow you to make more money with our system. That's like another example of a big idea, right? So a way you could pair scarcity with that is you need to get in on it now before the IRS sees it and closes this loophole, right? So that's an idea of scarcity. Really, you want to provide people with reasons, because, there's two things here. People need a reason to buy. Give them a reason to buy right now by giving them scarcity. And then you need to give them a reason why there's scarcity. So in e-commerce products, all the time, they'll say like, oh, we're trying to liquidate our warehouse, so we're doing this sale for the next 3 days to make room for our new shipment that's coming in, right? You can just say you only accept X amount of customers a month. You're only doing this promo for the next 3 days. I saw someone who did it. They basically, I can't remember what it's called, but they did it like colleges where, classes are starting on Tuesday. So we're closing enrollment on Sunday. So you have to get in now so you can be a part of this cohort. And the next cohort won't be open for like 6 to 8 weeks, stuff like that. Just give people a reason to buy now, okay? Boom. That's the 8 parts. I'll go through all of them again just so we have them all. But we have the clearly defined outcome. All right, we got the big idea. We got the unique mechanism that helps achieve the clearly defined outcome. You got your scrolling rock solid guarantee and or risk reversal. Bonuses that fight objections. You got your excellent product. But remember, the product doesn't matter. All that really matters is that it gets them that clearly defined outcome. You have a justified or lower price than the product is actually worth. And then you have scarcity to get people to buy. Those are the 8 parts that allow us to scale our webinars on cold traffic. Oh my God, my mouth is so dry.
And then I guess the last piece, for those of that, like for people that are scared to run traffic, like what do you think the biggest misconception is around that? Because I feel like a lot of these so-called gurus in the space are teaching that cold traffic is fucking stupid. You shouldn't be running ads because you should be able to like grow your business to 50 to 100K a month with organic.
Again, I mean, running cold traffic, it can be scary because, you're putting money out there and you're not guaranteed to get any result. The number one thing I could say is like, you need to be an adult, and part of being adult means you're taking your paid traffic seriously, which means you should watch it like a hawk. You need to be like a little fucking forensic accountant in there looking at every little thing, because for us, it doesn't matter as much because we have way more than enough money to spend on ads. So we can run an ad at a test budget of like $500 a day, and it's like, we don't care. We're going to look at the data the next day. We know the game now. But when you're starting out, you do need to pay really close attention. If something's not working, you need to be able to understand that as soon as possible so you can turn your ads off and not waste money. I can't like express how many times I've worked with business owners who are so lax about their ads. They're like, well, I've already spent like $600. And I'm like, dude, you can tell that this isn't working from day one. Like after you spent your fucking cost per link click $70.
Yeah.
You should have known day one this shit wasn't working. What's wrong with you? Bam! Give him a good old bitch slap. But, I mean, the biggest misconception, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's scary. I think it's the easiest way to grow your business. You literally can it's like turning on a faucet of qualified prospects to buy your shit. And you get instant feedback on whether or not your shit is good or not.
Yep.
Like if I'm doing SEO or reaching out to people, it would take me like weeks or months to get the amount of traffic I can get in a day from cold traffic. And I don't have to fucking DM people. I can spend my time writing an ad. It takes me like 20, 30 minutes to get the ad, unless it's YouTube ads, which is a little bit more time consuming because we have to write the script, record, send it to an editor, stuff like that. YouTube's a place to be, by the way. It's great. I thought that it was kind of saturated, and now like the more that I talk to other coaches, the more I realize a lot of people really aren't using YouTube still. They're mostly all on Facebook, so it's a great place to be, but it is a little bit more difficult to set up on. I mean, really, if you want to grow, I mean, ads are just the best way to do it. It's so great. You just press a button and all of a sudden you're getting fucking targeted people coming to your website, and that you'll instantly know if your page is good or not, if your offer is good or not. Like,
and I think the beautiful thing about it is like getting that feedback from people that aren't in your network, where like you can go do content, you can DM people and push them to your webinar and stuff like that. But if you're running cold traffic and you're getting people that have no fucking idea who you are, that are opting into your stuff, coming through the webinar, buying your shit at the end, that is a lot more, like we could say, fulfilling and shit like that. Because just imagine the pool you have of people that you could bring in with paid ads versus the 5,000 Facebook friends you can have or the followers that you can have on Instagram and shit like that.
Yep.
You'll get a lot quicker feedback, like you said, but you'll also be able to figure out like if your shit is actually good.
And it's just like we were talking at the beginning of the conversation, leverage, right? Like it's a bigger lever. When you pull it, you move more. You're going to get a bigger ROI for time spent. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's like you could spend just DMing people or stuff like that. It's slow, and I know it is because I'm doing it for my software. We're bootstrapped, and all the co-founders here, we didn't put a ton of personal money into it. So it's like we are doing a lot of those bootstrap things, and we are running ads too, but we're doing everything. We're going all out on content, like DMs,
the ecosystem,
networking, mastermind, like we're doing everything, but the ads are just so much easier. And it's so much less time consuming. But yeah.
Love it, man.
Run ads, guys. Be smart.
And send SMSs. I dropped the link for Roseanne in
come
the
sign up.
comments
Free
below.
trial.
Get your free trial. I can't guarantee you, because if you don't do it like right, but I can guarantee you that you will be in great hands, because they will help you get everything set up. They will, like, they send so much of fucking just fire content in SMS after you do sign up and become their customer, because they want to make sure that you succeed, because the more you succeed, the more text you send, the more the more everybody.
And like, look, if you guys do sign up for Roseanne, I didn't come on here to pitch you guys or anything. I really did want to just give value, because Mike is a great friend of mine. He's actually been working out of our office every day, so he's like part of the family here at Roseanne now. But if you do sign up for Roseanne, we do onboard everybody. We'll help you get integrated. We'll help you start getting your contacts in there so you can start texting them. And also, I can share with you the best strategies that we use in our own businesses for SMS. We're generating quite a bit of money via SMS, as well as email marketing and all that. And more than happy to help you with whatever you need in your business. So feel free to join. Once you join, I will send you a personal email, as I do with all clients who join. And if you want help, hey, let's talk it out. Let's have some fun.
Love it. Perfect. See you guys.
All right, wait, we got to do a fist bump on camera for everyone.
I don't know if we made it, but close enough.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Perfect. See ya. Now we got to end it.